views and opinions expressed in this podcast by the host and or the guest do not necessarily reflect the views of the host and or Paranormal Buzz Radio and or its sponsors. Use of any material produced by Paranormal Buzz Radio without express written consent is prohibited. Paranormal Buzz Radio will not be held responsible for you holding your knees, crying, and rocking in a corner in a puddle of your own urine, or being beheaded by a group of children in a cornfield. In fact, if you come across a group of children in a cornfield, we promise to make fun of you as you run away screaming in terror. Listener discretion is advised.
Ghost stories,
folklore,
psychics and mediums,
shamanism,
paranormal investigations,
haunted locations, and all that other weird shit.
You're listening to the Traveler's Moon Podcast
with the Paranomad, Chris Nielsen,
and Kelly McCarville, Moonspinner.
Here are your hosts, Chris and Kelly.
Hi.
Holy crap, we're live.
We always look at each other when she says we're live. Like, which one of us
haven't decided who's going to take it away yet. So, like...
That's a lot of work figuring that all out.
Take it away, Ernie.
Anyhow.
All right. So, guys, we have an awesome show tonight. Okay, she's looking at me like I'm going to take it away. So, we have the coyote in the house. Christopher Sutton, how are you doing this evening, sir?
Hi, Chris. Hi, Kelly. I'm doing great, thank you. That's probably one of the best introductions I've ever had with you. Ooh, rocking that out.
He's been howling for the last couple days.
Okay, so I went to share it on, I went to share Paranormal Buzz Radio's, ad for it on Facebook, and I thought it would be fun. I was going to capture it. Ooh, and I've had Werewolves of London stuck in my head for the last 48 hours.
So he just randomly walks around the house now, and I hear, ooh.
That boy.
Well, he's got to keep himself entertained somehow. So
it would stop being entertaining after hours 7 or 8.
Oh
no!
That is
we had a tragedy in the studio. Box of No Bake Cookies took a spill.
Oh dear!
So yeah, I know, right?
At least it wasn't the bourbon.
No, that's safe. That's safe.
There we go.
We keep that at a safe distance where it won't be knocked over.
Got to.
So yeah.
Keep going, I'm cleaning.
So Coyote, how you been?
I'm doing great. Getting a little anxious. I get to take my first plane trip in 2 years. Friday morning, I'm leaving St. Louis at 5 a.m. That means I got to be up at freaking 2:30 or something like that before I get to the airport on time and stuff. That part of it sucks. But I'm looking forward to traveling, going to the Shanley Hotel and I could never. It's in bloody New York State.
Yeah.
You know,
I've heard of it, but I can't think of it. It's
it's one of those Eastern Native American names, and I'll be at the Shanley Hotel with April Bussett and Mustafa Gatalori from Ghost Hunters. So looking forward to that. Just being able to travel again and go do something, and so that's been on my mind though. But you know, it's difficult because it's like I've been vaccinated. I'm cool because my job takes me to nursing homes here back at home. But just the fact that after hearing all these things all this time and not being around people I don't know, especially on an airplane, it's kind of freaking me out. But I'll be ready to go. I'll probably just fall asleep, and that's probably the best thing. So.
At 2:30, I would be surprised if you did.
Oh yeah, if I had to be up at 2:30, I wouldn't even go to bed. I just
I'm wrestling with that too. But we get a gig that night though. It's a 2-night, it's a 2 Friday and Saturday night thing. So I'm kind of I'll get a nap. So I've had to travel like this before. So I'd rather do it on the front end than the back end. I think because the back end you're tired anyway. In that situation, I did that in Buffalo one time, and when I was at Hinsdale, and it sucked. So I'll end up calling up half the next day anyway. So for the heck with it.
Yeah.
But everything else is going really good. The wife and the kids are good. Julie and Emily, Max, and Max is getting married in 2022.
I saw that. I'm so excited for him. So all those kiddos married off.
Yeah. They're out of the house. That's the main thing. So This is Emily's old room here, the one that's my office. Julia's office is Max's old room because, well, they have the strange custom today. Before kids get married now, they buy a house, and then they get married after that. Where other than the other way around. So
right.
He's gone, and his bride to be Rochelle. She has a 9-year-old son, and so gotta be a granddad. After
they
that,
look so happy.
Oh,
they look
are.
so happy though. So
yeah.
I'm excited for them.
It is.
Yeah.
It's fun. You'll see. You're starting to go through that kind of stuff. It's going to take you a while to get through yours, but.
Yeah. Well, but I've got my third in line that will probably be moving out this summer, and so that leaves me just technically one underage at home. I'll still have 2 at home at the moment, but
yeah.
Yeah.
3 to count me.
Yeah, well, only on occasion do I count you as one of the kids. So you're heading to the Shanley. What else do you have coming up this year? I know everybody's filling up their schedules again, which is great to see. So
yeah. Let's see. April 28th, is it HauntCon in Nebraska?
23rd.
23rd, that's it.
Yes, because that's the one day in my phone calendar that's not actually filled in. It's in my physical paper planner, but it's not in.
I don't have HauntCon on your calendar.
No. So
my gosh!
We share a calendar, and it's the strangest thing.
I am a horrible keeper.
Fortunately for you, I'm really good at remembering stuff.
Well, I tell you what, buddy, that fades with time. You better start getting in good habits now.
Oh yeah, that's weirdly one of my bigger fears in life. So I'm doing mostly everything I can to. Yeah,
but what Julia requires me to fill out the calendar in the kitchen every time I get something new, so I won't forget. So I've got it in my phone, I got it in the kitchen, I got it in here, and so yeah, I know I'll be seeing you guys there.
Yeah,
and so lots of other good folks, and I'm really looking forward to that. That was one of my favorite things to do a couple of years ago. Jamie does such a nice job.
Yeah, she really does.
Together, and she's been between a rock and a hard place, and so I know that she's had to make some changes to the lineup and things like that. And I don't know if I'm authorized to talk about that or not. I'm not going to get on our bad side.
Yeah,
I know what happens there.
Yeah, I don't know what all ones she's announced and which ones I just know about. So probably best if we wait and make sure she announces things. But
that's right.
That's going to be a super fun show. So for anybody who doesn't know what we're talking about, it's a show in Omaha, Nebraska. It's called HauntCon. This will be the 3rd annual event for that. April 23rd.
23rd, 24th.
Very cool event. So if you guys get a chance to check that out, you do.
Yep. And let's see.
And one more shameless little plug. The organizer that we were talking about, Jamie, she is actually going to be our guest the Wednesday before the event.
So not the next show, but the show after.
Yeah. So 2 shows from now, she'll be our guest talking all about HauntCon.
Oh, good. Yeah. And, Jamie's had to go through a lot of crap last year or so. And, and Kelly, this from running events. You got money on the line, stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
And, it's scary stuff.
Every single show, Pat and I had to decide what to do. It was like we sat down ahead of time, and it wasn't just one conversation. It was probably the 10th one that we finally decide, do we do it? Do we not do it? Do we cancel?
Yeah.
How much money are we going to lose when we cancel? So,
right.
Yeah, and we canceled 4 of them last year.
Yeah.
So,
but you're going to lose money. Yeah, it just depends on how you want to lose it. It's because if you have it and nobody can show up, and then you've got all these. So I feel for everybody who had to schedule events for the last year or so. I just hope that the infection levels stay low, and so we can get as many people as we can in there, because we've all missed it so much. And
definitely.
You guys, and it's been too long.
It's
I think the last gig since at first part of March, I was at a little one in Upper Illinois, and it was a 2-location place in this one little town. Rob and Terry from Ashmore Estates had put it on, and so I went to that. That was just a daytime thing, and I did see some people I knew. It was pretty cool. But this will be the first big one I've done since Quad Cities Psychic and Paranormal Expo in November.
It's a year and a half ago. Yeah, it was a year and a half ago.
So it's been a tough time.
Well, we probably should have started with this, but, just in case anybody doesn't know who you are, why don't you tell us?
We fell right into conversation.
That's what happens when you know someone so well. So, for anybody who doesn't happen to know who you are, why don't you share a little bit about who you are and what you do and all of that fun stuff?
I'm Coyote Chris Sutton. I've been practicing shamanism for 27 years. I think now I've gotten a year older in there someplace, but I think it's 27. Been doing the paranormal for about 24, 25, something like that. So I do shamany stuff, like I do shamany stuff. It's like psychic readings, and I do healing work, and I do house cleansings to get the negative energies out. Then I do paranormal, but I just do my shamany stuff when I do paranormal stuff. And Kelly and Chris and I have had some wonderful adventures together in the past, especially in that Potter's Field behind Edinburgh.
That was cool. Yeah, we got to get another Edinburgh thing lined up.
Yeah, definitely. So, I do all kinds of things. I think my main focus is to, I follow the Sasiwas medicine tradition of the Pacific Northwest coast, and it's taught by a native leader named Johnny Moses, who teaches it. It's a type of medicine it's meant to be shared between tribes, and even not just Native American tribes, but other people as well who have a good heart. So, in my tradition there, what we do is we teach people. Everybody's got a gift from Spirit or a gift from God, that they should find what that is and use it to heal yourself first, and then use it to help others. Whatever that gift is, it could be something as mundane sounding as just listening, which today is a rare skill for many people. So it could be anything like up into, you're some type of great spiritual teacher or something like that. But, that's my thing, is to get in front of people and talk about that stuff and have fun, because, when we're doing our stuff, we're showing what we can do, and this is what our path has taught us. And, Kelly and Chris, you're getting along on yours too. We do that to motivate people, to say, yeah, you can find your gifts too. It's not
absolutely.
Yeah, it's not just a show. It's we bring people into it with us. You don't stand back and watch us. You come and you're going to interact with us, and that's what I love about doing it. We've had so many cool experiences together seeing that.
Yeah.
So that's So basically, that's kind of what I'm about. I've just to have fun and maybe we'll all learn something and have a great time and find some spirits or whatever we're meant to do at the time. You never know what's going to happen.
You never know what's going to happen. Trees talk to you. It's weird. It's weird stuff, definitely. So,
yeah. You had trees talk to you too?
What's that?
I said, you had trees talk to you too?
Yeah, it was weird. I wasn't exactly sure what to do with it, but we were outside Farrar and we had done a drumming circle, and it's not that I don't believe that trees have energy as well, but they don't usually talk to me, and it was a weird experience.
It's because you're not usually actively listening.
Maybe I don't know, but it was He definitely took me someplace else and had some new experiences going on there. So
we all did, I think. That tree is amazing. We the one time, because we've done it a couple times now.
Mm-hmm.
With Dan Klassen with us, he brought his Geoport. And so we get this voice. So it was a 2-day thing. It was Friday night and then Saturday night event. And so we're getting this voice over the thing. It's definitely a feminine voice, a very elemental sounding, and which is what the tree spirit is. It's an elemental. And so we hear it then, and Kelly, I'll let you tell your part because you went through some cool stuff too. But the next night, Dan and I were in the auditorium, and that same voice comes over, even though he's got a different channel. Same voice comes over and calls my name.
Yeah,
it's one of those things that's really cool. So it's a trippy thing to do. It's fun.
Yeah, it's it's different because I wouldn't have expected to like hear the tree talk.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how to explain it other than that. I mean, I guess I would have thought, I could have got this feeling or I could have got that, but it wasn't even a feeling. It was very distinctly, you need to tell them this, exactly this, you know? It was interesting.
It wasn't trees have their own energy, their own spirit, everything that's alive does as part of the web of existence. But this tree had a tree spirit in it. So the tree spirit is what was communicating with us. But it was time for you to start to get to know elementals, and because they're kind of cool if you get to talk to them.
Yeah. And I mean, I've had like buildings talk, and I'll put that in parentheses, talk to me before, but it's always been just the impressions that I was given from a building, that it would tell me it used to be this or it used to be that, but it was always just kind of like the information that came to me. And I guess that's what I would have expected if a tree had ever decided to communicate with me, and that's just not how it was. But it was super cool. I think a lot of people had interesting experiences that night. And I think probably the coolest experience I've ever had with you was in the basement at Mineral Springs.
Yeah.
So we were standing in the basement of this old, I don't remember. It was built as a mall, wasn't it?
It was built as a hotel. It started out, the basement, the sub-basement we were at was actually the first part of it. And it was built on top of all that. There was a mineral spring that they had tapped into there in the basement. And so, and that's where we're trying to figure out, that's where a lot of the activities coming out of this, where this spring was coming up. And so, but yeah, they built a hotel on the pretext of, we've got this mineral springs. There's a mineral springs bath, a floor up, and they were bottling the mineral springs. So it was sold like as a medicinal elixir, which probably had a better chance of killing you than whatever disease you had.
It's a possibility.
Yeah, there was no Food and Drug Administration back then.
Most of them lived. It was fine. Yeah. But we were standing down in this basement, and it's pitch black. He explained we were going to do a drum circle, and, he said, everybody shut off your lights. And so I'm standing right next to him, and we turn off all the lights. So we're in a sub basement. It should be pitch black. And I realized there's this circle of light around his feet. And I just thought, he's got a flashlight in his pocket. So there's at least a tiny bit of light, which always makes me giggle because I think, is that a flashlight in your pocket or, But anyways.
Glad to see me.
But I didn't think a whole lot of it. But after the fact, I had said something to him about, the circle of light from your flashlight or something. He's like, no. I'm like, no, you must have, well, maybe you didn't mean to, but you must have turned your flashlight in your pocket on or something. He's like, no, he pulls it out. It's off. And I'm like, there was a damn circle of light you were standing in. I could see it the whole time you were doing this. And when you moved, it moved. So it was the weirdest thing.
Oh, that was cool.
There's some power he puts out when he's doing those drum circles.
I believe it.
Comes through. But I'll never forget when we were doing the investigation with the tree spirit, some of the things you were experiencing there that brought a lot of clarity to me because you got in touch with the native spirits of the land. Which the drums will bring up. They'll talk to different people. I mean, you're a much better medium than I am. So you got some really cool stuff out of that.
Yeah. And that was weird because there was, working with Coyote is probably where I tapped into most of my native side of stuff. It's kind of also where the Realm Walker came from when I was doing the Realm Walker show. But,
that's right.
Yeah, it used to be the ground outside of Ferrara used to almost be like, I can't even remember what the words they used, but basically like it was a ritual initiation type place that the young warriors would have to come through, and they'd be sent into the woods all by themselves to basically prove their worth, prove they could do it, prove they were ready to progress onto this next stage. And so it was very much a sacred ground with a shaman or a healer or something that was kind of, they had to approach him first and sit down and do like this meditation with him before they could go into the woods. But it was also meant strictly for males. So because there were some females that were approaching it, and I'm like, just stop! You're not supposed to go in there, you know.
That's right.
But, yeah.
And the tribes that were there, and I forgot. Will told me what the name was. A specific name. It's not just Iowa, but they were Siouan people, and
Central Iowa might be Sauk and Fox.
No, it wasn't quite that, because it was Sauk.
That's a little more east, isn't it?
Yeah, Sauk, because that's more in line with Illinois. That's where the major tribe in northeastern Illinois was. Northwest Illinois. But one of the rituals of the Siouan culture was the vision quest. And this is how you would have done it. And it's like you start with the medicine man. You might have smoked a pipe or whatever, but you're talking about meditation. Sometimes they meant a sweat lodge. And then you go to out to the woods and stay for however long that particular tribe did. And the Sioux was 4 days. But yeah, then you come back out, and then you come back and you talk. And it's like a introductory becoming a man. This is you go out and you find your medicine, you're ready to start your adult life. So yeah, you hit that right on the head, I think.
Yeah, that's exactly what they described to me. And they had to go by themselves, and they couldn't come back till they figured it out, basically. It's like, what if you never figured it out? But they always did, it seems like.
Find your bones out there. No, I'll tell you what, you go without food and water long enough, you'll have a vision. I guarantee
it's true.
You'll start seeing things, definitely.
Yeah. But yeah, that was good stuff. It's just so much fun going out with you, with you both. So I can't wait till we do it again.
Yeah, we'll have to get something set up. We
realized we had a lot of
oh my God,
expos and conventions both this year, and not a whole lot for events. But so any pretty much like open weekends we have for the rest of the year is going to be spent trying to fill the void with events. So yeah, we'll get you up in our neck of the woods if we don't end up kind of out towards you.
Yeah, just figuring out what we have open, and then finding something that everybody else has open, and then finding a venue that's open, and it's like the stars must align.
Yeah, I've been talking with Rebecca Cambry every once in a while. I want to get out there sometime.
Well, yeah, you do.
So it's.
This has had some pretty cool experiences out of Cambry.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So that's something I want to look at. I'm with a promotion company now, but it's been so hard to book stuff. I mean, I still book my own stuff, most of it. So it's not like I'm a slave to that. So we'll get something rolling.
Yeah, definitely. So where do we want to go next?
So I realize we're almost halfway through the show, so I feel like we just need to segue into this real quick before it deviates any further, because it is something I'd like to touch on. So I heard you wrote a book.
That's what I
heard you're an author.
I did. I'm an author now. I kind of got lucky, but I had 2 videos I recorded of being interviewed by my friend Dave Nunnally, and it's on VidiSpace, which changed to Quomph or something like that, but it's going to be on there too. It's the same owner, but did I say something? Oh, there she is.
No, she needed water.
Oh, okay. I'm like, why is Kelly leaving? But anyway, so yeah, and so what I did was I was sitting around waiting for it to get put on that streaming platform, and so I thought, I wonder if I could do something with this, because one of my favorite interviews of all time was Bill Moyer's 6-part interview with Joseph Campbell, the mythologist. And there was a book that relates to that. What they did is they transcribed what was said, and they put it in book form. Maybe say like Bill Moyer's and say what he said, and then what Joseph Campbell's answer was. I said, I wonder if I could do something like that. So I went and I talked to Mike Ricksecker of Haunted Road Media, as a friend of mine, and I said, Mike, I told him what I had in my mind. He goes, that sounds pretty good. I said, where can I get this transcribed? And he gives me his website. It's called Rev. And you send him videos or audios, whatever, and it transcribes it and spits it back to you in about half an hour. Depending on the length of the tape you give them. But so I got it back, and I'm like, well, it doesn't make a lot of sense. If you're watching the video, it makes sense. And I looked at all this stuff. I don't know how many times I went, well, that kind of stuff when you're talking and trying to think at the same time. So I'm like, I need to get rid of all that shit because I sound stupid. And then I said, well, this answer is not going to have as much context in in book form. So I added stuff to it. And so the answers come out much clearer, much more detailed than the video. Now the video is good because it captures me getting all weird and crazy about loving what I talk about. But the book is definitely more there's more meat to it than the interview does, and so it just basically tells the story of how I got this far. This is how it began, my spiritual path, and the things that happened along the way, and I go about doing things now is basically how it works. But it's I had fun. I've gotten good responses from it. You're never quite sure, what you write something like that, how people are going to receive it. And, so far so good. And I'm enjoying talking about it, get it out there. But yeah, it's you can get it on Amazon. Yeah, it's like if you got Kindle Prime, you can read it for free and actually get paid for it. But, or you can buy it, the paperback. I think it's $4.99 and Kindle $11.99 for the paperback. If you want a signed copy, you can message me, and it'd be $20 for that because I got to send it and everything. So, but I will sign it. I will inscribe it and write you a nice little note and send it to you like that.
Awesome. So I can just bring my copy to you next time I see you then.
That's right. Yeah, and if somebody's bought a copy, please, if I'm going to be someplace, please bring it. I'll be happy to sign it for you. And then sell you a coffee mug.
I have seen that coffee mug. It's really fun. Did I show you a picture of that? Oh, it's fantastic.
Wait a minute. I got one. Hang on a second.
I was going to say, somehow I've missed the coffee mug. So, what happened, Chris?
I stubbed my toe so hard.
Oh, I have seen the coffee mug. Yes, those are super cute. Yeah. So he's got some fun merchandise, guys. Be sure to check out his sites and everything and see where you can get stuff. Or better yet, swing by someplace he's going to be in person. And
definitely.
He's one to meet, guys, if you haven't met him yet, definitely. So
I had a friend in England who did that caricature, Neil, and just did an amazing job with it. Now, Jerry, I still have Jared Boots as well, and I still use that as far as my girls too, but I'll never ever give that up either.
Yeah.
But Neil was really cute, so that's there are two different types of T-shirts now.
Hey, that works. So, so we're getting a few questions in chat, and I want to make sure to get to some of them.
Sure.
And one of them actually, I think, is another venture that you're just getting started on right now. So, what is Paranormal Pub?
Oh, the Parapub, yes. Charlotte Harden and I did a thing called the Spirit Drum for a while, and that was on Scarefest Television Network. So we both got really busy during COVID and whatnot, and a lot of our jobs were pretty crazy, and then I think I was writing, but so I kind of fell to the wayside. So we decided to regroup, and so we've got Charlotte Harden and I and Heather Larson are going to be doing the interviewees. Now, this would be a lot about like the Girls vs. Ghosts format, where each of us takes a certain segment. We'll be having different things. We're just going to start off once a month. It'll be the third Tuesday of the month. We might go to two. We're just going to start this way. We're going to get people from all, across the paranormal and, UFO people and just weird, interesting people. But yeah, you can expect it to be lively and done well. And so, and we're going to do it on Facebook Live. And so that way everybody can see it. Now, we also are going to have a Patreon page as well that will take, most of the show will be live, and then if you want to join us for an afterward, you can. It's and you can do it for $1 a month. That's the Barfly level is $1 a month. And you get different stuff. Like the regular level, you get $5 a month. You get something else. We're still working on the details of that stuff, and then the top shelf is $10 a month, and you probably get some merch and stuff like that. But we're still working out the details for that. And also included in our team is my daughter Emily. She's our scheduler and chat watcher, and so I'm looking forward to that. Working with my daughter on this, and so
how fun!
It'll be fun. It's going to be fun. And that's what we want to do is have fun with this. So you get the pub atmosphere, and we'll have back, Charlotte's going to make me take out my green screen, which is a bite to fold up and get into a bag. But she's one person who can make me do stuff like that. So
yeah.
So we'll get that stuff. Yeah, no, Charlotte.
Oh yeah.
It's like you end up saying yes after a while. It's okay, fine. So, but yeah, but the thing is about her is that she wants a good product. And
definitely, yeah.
They're focused on that, and she's a great producer. So, and there's some good platforms out there like StreamYard and some of these others, and it's like, that's one of the good things that came out of the pandemic was this video virtual conference meetings and stuff. That was a group. I mean, some of that stuff would just make you insane before, which I couldn't even understand it, this OS or whatever it was, that kind of stuff. I mean, it was just driving people nuts, but it's just improved so much. Even Zoom is pretty easy to use, and you can get show quality out of that. I mean, it's not the best, but it's doable, it's workable.
It works.
It's still good, yeah.
So,
well, that's very cool.
So, yeah, the Parapub the first official broadcast will be on 420. So I really wish I wish I could get Snoop Dogg on. That would be great. But I don't think that's going to happen. Him get hold of Snoop Dogg and get him scheduled. Now we're going to do next Tuesday on the 30th. So we're just trying to decide between two different platforms. And again, we tell Charlotte it's whatever you want. So she wants to try two different ones, see what works the best. And so on the 30th, we're just going to go live for a while and we'll let people know we're going on, things like that. But just want to see how things work and chat amongst ourselves about what the shows are going to be like and things like that, and see how people respond to that, if people want to come and check it out. And so we're going to do that. So that will be out there. And I know we'll have an official site and all that kind of stuff. It's just, it's kind of getting the preliminaries in and see what happens.
Sure. Oh, yeah, got to pay to test it.
Thank you.
I don't know. We have a few questions here. So Matt wants to know, and I'm going to kind of piggyback off of this as well. Matt wants to know, how does one...
Is this Matt Waddell?
This is Matt Waddell.
Hi, Matt. How you doing?
He wants to know, how does one begin the journey into shamanism?
It depends. Tradition that you're from depends part of it, and in some traditions, in some cultures, and there's shamanic cultures in 6 continents, one time or another. And sometimes, the shaman picks you, and they see something in you that says you've got medicine. So the shaman's the one that picks other shamans. Some cultures, you behave in a certain way. If you like to go off by yourself a lot when you're young and you do a lot of, reflective types of things and like the plants and the animals, and they say, you're showing us the signs, and so you're going to start getting instruction on that. And the other thing is that spirit calls you. That's what happened to me. It's just, I went to this powwow and got really taken up by this one dance in a barn there. Realized that something was different in the world that I hadn't experienced before, that world of spirit. I went and grabbed a book, and just ran. I had no what I was looking for. Grabbed this book. That's what I was searching. And so I read that. All of a sudden, I thought this would be so cool because I use things like that. So I thought, how cool would it be to smoke the pipe? Did this. And like a month later, or 2 months later, I had a magazine out of Chicago, and we used to live closer there. And this place was having pipes. And they said, yeah, and that's how it started. And as teachers started, I don't know if I found teachers or teachers found me, because I kept running into them through my time. And that's what happened to me. If you feel drawn to it, and because I'll tell you what, they're going to know if it's bullshit or not. And so but some people are just called that way too. You can say, hey, I want to learn. It may be your path, it may not. And it's, I teach a lot of people the rudimentary, the introduction stuff, just to give them an overview of it. And now recently, Chris has been with me, is that to teach more intensive type stuff. That's how it works. It's just like you're supposed to be something, and then you become it. That's how it works.
Yeah, I would make the argument that the teacher finds you.
I think you're right.
I think that's how a lot of just kind of the generality of it is it finds you a lot. Like if you're going out looking for it, it's very difficult to see, like, forest through the trees kind of thing. You have to kind of wait for it to come to you. It's going to do it in its own time. Yeah,
I agree.
So Darren has a kind of a shaman-y type question. We work a lot with spirit helpers. A lot of people call like a particular spirit guide. And Darren wants to know, can your spirit guides ever change, or is that something that's basically with you from start to finish?
Sure. No, can they change? You can add. Sometimes a guide will come to you to get you through a specific time, and then we'll relinquish and somebody else comes in. In mine, like with my animals, I started with the hawk and then went to the bear, but the hawk didn't leave. The hawk's my seeing animal for the psychic work. The bear's my healing animal. Groundhog gives me knowledge, and the coyote's me, and just it's sort of my what I am. So but I also have other guides too that were of human form one time, including my great grandmother. And some other people that help me with, one's for healing, and again, it tends to be like that. But and I think some of them too help bring messages to you and whatnot. But yeah, you can. And sometimes I've had couple of them just come and go, just give me a message or so, hang out for a while, and then take off. So maybe come back later. It's kind of how it works. But yeah, you can go both ways, and you may end up with just one, and that's fine too.
Yeah, and I think for the most part, I've had just the one primary. Well, I mean, a one of each species, I guess. So I've had my one primary human, but then I've had my one primary spirit animal too. But yeah, definitely they can come and go, kind of depending on what all's going on in your life, and yeah.
Yeah. Now you can piss them off if you ignore them or not be doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Pretty sure I piss mine off on a regular basis.
Yeah.
It's a wonder she sticks around.
Yeah, they'll let you know if you're messing up, and
yeah.
So it's always good to keep reminders of your spirit animals around and your spirit helpers, and so you don't forget them, because life will make you forget things if you're not careful.
So I've had people ask me this question before, and I'll be the first one to admit I know 10% about shamanism, which is nothing of everything that's out there. But I've heard both ways that in order for you to get your spirit animal, a shaman has to go and retrieve your spirit animal from is it the underworld for you? I can't remember.
Some call it underworld, some call it lower world.
Which for those of us shaman muggles, retrieving something from the underworld does not sound good, by the way.
No, it's not. It's not.
It's not.
I get that, but for those of us who are
entirely on Greek mythology,
it's like going down and getting a hellhound from Hades or something, which I know that's not what's happening, but then I've also heard other people say that you can get your own. So is there any truth to which way it can or should be done?
They're both true. You can have it both ways. Now, the bear I found, now the underworld, or the lower world as some people call it, that is and actually our friend Tina Marie described it as like backstage of a theater. And you're not out the door, you're not out and performing, you're in between. And so that's that place where spirit and the tonal, which is the regular earth world, and the wall, which is the spirit world, meet. So that's like an in-between place where you meet and you go, and then your guides can meet you there, or other things can meet you there, and you can meet your animal spirits. That's where I met the bear. Now with the hawk, that was a physical, because I'd see him all the time, and I left feathers, and so that's a sign too. So it can be both ways. I mean, now some traditions will say it can only be this way, and that's fine. In my tradition, you can do both. Like if I tell people that, some people aren't going to journey. You have to journey to do a shamanic journey to go to the underworld. You just can't, hitch a ride down there. Part of your soul's got to go with it. And so some people are never going to do that. So yeah, if you start seeing the same animal around all the time, it's not something like you see a red-tailed hawk constantly. You're not going to see them all the time like you would see like a robin or something like that. Or we got plenty of those. So it's something that's odd. It comes at times when you're reflecting or whatnot, and all of a sudden you feel that, and you feel it in here. It's like, oh, there's some special relationship. So then you kind of look to that as a potential spirit animal and read up about what that means. Now, there is no one sacred book that tells you what an animal means. They're all generally about the same. You can get Animal Speak, and there's a couple other ones, or you can just Google like red-tailed hawk totem, red-tailed hawk medicine, and you can find a decent description of what it is. And you find it lines up something that you're going through at the time. And like the hawk's about messages, and so that's getting messages to go on for me to keep doing what I was doing. So yeah, I mean, I don't, I'm not going to be definitive on that because in my worldview, my shamanic view is that either way is bound. So I'm not going to see a bear because I'd rather not.
Right? You hope, anyways.
No.
So, good.
Oh no, I was going to say, if I may. So for me, when it came to finding, I was starting to just recognize my wolf as kind of my prime area there, and it wasn't so much that I was obviously seeing it out in the wild, but a wolf's obviously not a common thing here in Iowa, but I would see it in. I'm trying to think of specific examples because it was on like the cover of a magazine, and the Lakota Wolf Reserve showed up in like my Facebook thread. That sort of thing. So it just doesn't have to show up in a physical. It's right there manifestation. It can just be kind of its recurring theme, and then it was very much solidified for me in the basically in the form of a dream.
Yeah, dreams are very valid as well. If you dream about an animal a lot, Carl Jung called that synchronicity. These things keep popping up. Everything happens for a reason. And so, yeah, you're meant to see these images. And so, because spirit's going to get to you however they can, all right? Whether you dream, vision, as you walk through life, as long as you keep your eyes open and see what can be seen, then these things can come to you. And so, so there's no one set way. There's just so many spirits wise in the way of those things and saying, usually it's human beings that put limits on us. This is our tradition. This is how it has to be. Whereas mine is more eclectic and saying, no, there's also, it gives spirit a chance to reach you however it can. And that's what brings it to you.
Yeah.
That's a good question, though.
And I had somebody get mine for me, but it was also, it's been 15 years or better. So, I was still fairly young in my own journey, let alone knowing anything about shamanism. So, yeah, I had some friends who were shamans, and they said that they would do a journey for me and came back with a pretty little mountain lion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Go ahead. College.
That's okay, yeah.
You told me. College told me.
It's a cougar.
It's a cougar,
it was for.
I didn't have to bring that up. You did it yourself.
For telling the future or something. So, anywho, yeah. But I was just curious because, to go back to I don't know even now with as much as I'm tapped into things with what I do, that I would feel comfortable saying I'm going to go find my own spirit animal, like to venture down to the lower world and find my own animal, to do a guided meditation to find it. I know that's probably the same thing, but it's different words, and it makes me more comfortable.
That's fine.
But
there's nothing wrong with that.
But I don't know. I don't. In my brain, it just from what I've learned from talking to you to the Chris's, it doesn't seem like a guided meditation would go as deep as like a journey would.
It would be like training wheels. You'd still get to your destination, But eventually you want to learn to do it without the assistance, without the aid. But
Yeah.
I've had some very good guy. I've heard some very good guided meditations that will do that. So yeah, no, that's cool. There's no reason you can't.
Yeah, I figure if I need to wander around down there, I know some people who I could talk to. So
I'll
leave it.
Or somebody take you. I mean,
Yeah.
Or Chris take you. Yeah.
I'll let one of you guys hold my hand when we go wander around.
It was funny. I was doing this with a guy one time. I was teaching, and so I had never done this before, but we were laying on the floor fairly close to one another, and so it was kind of a guided thing, getting him going. And I thought to myself, I'm going to follow him, and I did. He was ahead of me. He was in like a jungle, and we got to this little rope and wood bridge, and crossed that, and went to this hut. And there was natives in there, and he entered it. And then I started to walk up the door, and the one big guy with a staff goes boom, and hits the floor of the house. And so and you could, I felt that in the house, and we were in it. I asked him later, I said, "Where'd you go?" And he was telling me where he's at. He says, "It's the exact same place that I followed him to." And he goes, "What was that thump?" I said, "That was the big native guy with his big staff slamming into the ground." And so yeah, I mean, you can definitely take somebody around this, but you get a situation like that, you got to step back because they're safe, but she's not around, so But it wasn't what he was told. Wasn't for my ears.
Excellent. Yeah. We probably have time for one or two.
We have one more
questions,
and I really like Mama Deb's question.
Okay.
So, shaman and psychic, what's the difference?
Well, the difference is shamans are also healers. Not that psychics can't be, but shamans are people who intermingle with the spirits, with the powers, for specific reasons. The psychic, for me, for my part of it, it's just an offshoot of my shamanism, as is the healing part. Everything I do is based in the shamanism. Psychics can be wonderfully gifted people that can do a lot of different things, but it's usually not rooted in a shamanic type of tradition, or you don't use the same tools often, and consort with the same guides and beings. It's a different thing now. They share attributes, sure, right? I have tons of respect for psychics and mediums and other types of healing, like Reiki workers. I love working with people that do Reiki if I'm doing healing work. So yeah, I mean, that's the difference. It's some of the talents are the same, but it's like the difference between in the Christian tradition, everybody says they're Christian, but there are certain, if you follow a certain, like Catholicism, there's different steps. You're doing different things. Whereas in the United Church of Christ, it's something to do a little bit different. But it's you're still doing good work. It's kind of a different. You're creating a different landscape in a different way, a different framework.
And it's so my brain kind of breaks down. It's the difference between an ability, like a psychic ability, is something you can do, versus a technique or a practice. You can go out and you can just naturally be a psychic. You can't necessarily go out and just naturally be a shamanic practitioner. It's a practice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you still have to have the talent. But yeah, that's a good point. It's basically how you do what you do, and it certainly this shamanism is not better than psychic. Just having been psychic and whatnot. It's just we walk different paths and just do things in different ways, but we try to get the same results, and that's to help other people.
Oh yeah, and it's been kind of fascinating because the shamanism, I don't know if it's just become my general openness to everything in general. As I started getting more into the shamanism, my actual psychic abilities,
they go off, yeah.
Just turned up to 11 in comparison to what it was before. I'm not like a Kelly McCarville 11, but
no, Kelly's good.
Oh, that was
no, it doesn't, because what you're doing is, okay, so what's one of the first thing I teach you guys is how to become hollow bones, right? So you bring in that spiritual energy, and it's not our energy, it's the energy of spirit. I mean, we have certain abilities, but this energy we bring in from Mother Earth and the sky and Father Sky mingles together, and it increases our abilities to be empaths, to heal, because we use that energy. Because what we do is like we're all made of energy, and our energy collides and they intermingle. And when our energy is working at a higher level, we're more perceptive and we're more able to use the energy to. That's what you do when you're doing healing work. You're sending energy into people. So if it's just my energy, it's not going to be nearly as effective if I'll just burn myself up. This is the energy through spirit. And if you were, in the Taoism or Buddhism, you would call it chi. It's that natural earth energy that you're tapping into, and it does it. It raises all your levels.
I'm sorry, you were saying something. You look like at least once in there. You're like, and then.
Oh yeah, I have no idea. That was so 5 seconds ago. I don't remember now.
Oh goodness.
If I blurted out in the middle of something here in 5 minutes, I remembered, but I have no clue what I was going to say. Yeah, I think there's some truth to that, though. I mean, like you said, it's not that psychics don't have some of that healing ability as well, but it's not necessarily always the focus. And some of us are doing it subconsciously and not even realize we were doing it until we were Reiki trained, and then we're like, oh, hey, wait, guess what I've been doing?
Right. But
not all psychics do that. And I don't know, I guess I've always kind of thought, and this is my, naivety about shamanism, because again, 10%. I don't know, I've always just thought of like shamanism being like this earth-based, when you guys journey, you go down. When I meditate, I go up, and it's a difference of how we connect to that power, how we connect to that energy.
We can go up too.
It's not that it's different energy per se. It's just, I don't know. It's just kind of, that's always, you draw your energy from a tree. I draw my energy from the moon, and it's just a difference of how we connect with things. So
yeah, different focal points, different. I mean,
yeah.
I would say moon would be more of a psychic type of,
really absolutely.
And so, I think it's always been that way. Whereas like I'm more earth based and but not that the star, but you also have the star energies, and you have those things in the heavens. You got those as well. And there's my tradition. There's lots of stories about the blue star people. Oh, yeah. And how that sort of thing, and so the interaction with the heavens, and so that's more seen as going up for inspiration and creativity. We might go up, and do that, and so.
And don't get me wrong, because when I'm someplace and I need to ground a little bit, I have no problems taking my shoes off and walking around in the grass. So,
you gotta get to the mother. Yeah, that's.
It was. I very distinctly remember we were at the Sally house, and I just needed out of there after a pretty strong connection for a little bit, and. Good on the people across the street from us that they didn't call me out on it, but I trekked across the street. They had this beautiful green lawn, and I just sprawled out on the lawn. And, it was all good.
Yep. That's what you do. Yeah. Get grounded again.
How are we doing on time here?
Oh, goodness. It is pretty near that time.
Pretty near. Do we have one more, or do we want to start having...
Oh, I was going to say, having to start plugging away.
Yeah,
all right. So this is the part of the show where you get to toss in some plugs. So where can we find you? Where are you going to be?
Okay.
That sort of thing.
Let's see. My schedule is on www.coyotechris.com. That's my website. It's got the schedule on there. Now I can tell you this. In May, I will be Covington, Kentucky, the first weekend in May for Universal Energy Expo, Paranormal, University Energy Expo, that's it. I'll be at the Hinsdale House on May 22nd with Chris and Bill Reap and Dan Class. I'm going to be in Cedar Rapids, Iowa in July, is it, Kelly?
July
18th.
Yeah, 17th, 18th, 19th, somewhere around there.
We got to go to the Blind Pig. We got to go to the Pig.
Yeah, we do.
Karaoke.
Only if we can get Mr. Class to sing some Humpty again.
Yeah, you got to get his ass there. He's a pretty busy boy.
And he needs a keeper because the man can not keep track of his schedule. He's got so much going on. But as far as I know, he's planning on being in Cedar Rapids. So.
Oh, good. I'll guilt him and make sure he shows up.
Yeah, I was just talking to him. So unless as long as he doesn't forget between yesterday and July, he should be good. But,
I'm going to see in August. I know I'm going to be in Marshalltown, Iowa. It's the weekend before Michigan Paranormal, and I know Michigan Paracon, which I know all three of us will be at that. But Marshalltown is Kelly Steffen's putting that on the Midwest Annual Paranormal Symposium. It's going to be a pretty big event from what she's telling me. So I can even have a beer tent. I'm like,
So why are we in Gettysburg?
We are in Gettysburg.
There's a beer tent, though.
We were invited out to the Gettysburg Battlefield Bash. So.
Good. That's fun. That'll be your second time on it.
No. Well, so I was at one show in Gettysburg, and then last year we were supposed to go and it got canceled. So, but we'll actually be making a road trip from Gettysburg to Michigan. We'll be doing the Battlefield Bash for several days out there, and then we'll spend a day or two in Gettysburg. Hit a stop or two along the way as we travel up to the Michigan Paracon.
So I got to go back to Illinois and work a couple days, then head up to Michigan.
That was our thing. We were going to be home for like one day, and it just didn't make sense.
No.
We're gonna make a Traveler's Moon road trip out of it. Yeah. So
there you go. And there's plenty of places to stop. Places in Ohio and stuff like that to stop.
Ohio was one of our Because I have never been. Someone has been, but I have never been to the Ohio Reformatory. So.
Oh, I haven't either. I think I'm going to go there this year, though. I think. I'm not sure yet. But anyway, so we'll all be at the Michigan Paracon. There's going to be a lot of people there. It's going to be fun.
Oh, yeah. That's a big.
Yeah, last year I was going to fly, but this year I got so much more merch. I'm like, I'm just going to drive and just take my time. And I got a room now at the casino hotel, so I will be in the same venue. Last time I was at someplace else. I thought, I'd rather spend the money in the hotel.
Yeah, we're at the hotel. Yeah. It's so much more convenient, Chris. It's a little pricier, don't get me wrong, but it's definitely worth it.
It wasn't too bad for 3 days. It was under $500, and so So
bumps right up there, but yeah.
Since I'm not flying, spending money on that, so that'd be good. DeadCon, and that's going to be in October in Fort Wayne. That's going to be pretty big. Then I got to see where else. Ray at Flumeri Promotions is gonna send me to as well. So, mine's still shaping up, and I've probably got some other things going on too. But that's kind of where I'm at right now. I know there'll be probably Ashmore States I'll be at and things like that. So,
let me know when Ashmore comes up, because I know we were going to try to. I had scheduled to be there with you last year, and then that didn't happen. So let me know when that opens up, and I'll reach out to Terry.
Yeah, there's be some pretty good stuff. So on Facebook it's Christopher Sutton. There's my personal page. My public figure page is Coyote Chris Sutton. Twitter it's Coyote Chris S. And it's the same on Instagram. It's Coyote Chris S. You'll see some of the things I've done, on television and in documentaries and stuff. You could go to my IMDb page. It's Chris Sutton, and there's in parentheses it's the Roman numerals XXI with 21, so I'm the 21st Chris Sutton, who's been included in that. However, there's my picture, so you can see that there as well too. So, and the book is at Amazon. The book is on Amazon. Just type in Coyote Chris Sutton, it'll pop right up. And also on my webpage, you can get to it from there too as well. So if you want to read the book.
Very, very cool.
Well, if anybody ever has any questions they want to ask me, it's coyotechris1957@gmail.com. So I will welcome questions and things like that.
Yeah, and he truly is one of the best to ask questions of. He's very patient. He's put up with me for years, so he's very patient.
Because I love you. That's why you and Chris both.
Yeah, but I could be trying. But yeah, thank you. Check him out. Be sure to follow him if you have not yet. if you get an opportunity to get out someplace where he's around, be sure to stop in and say hi.
Just do it.
Totally worth it. And there's at least a chance that we will be there as well. So, 2 for 1 special.
Right. Come see all of us. And
if you're lucky, we'll drag Mr. Class with us. So
that's right.
Speaking of being places, where are we going to be this weekend?
Oh my gosh. So, like we talked about a little bit, the expos. So Mama Pat, who you guys, of course, always see in chat, and I are the host of the Psychic and Paranormal Expos that are held throughout Iowa. And we actually have 5 of them this year. 5. And our first one is coming up this coming weekend in Cedar Falls, Iowa. It is the 27th and 28th. I should know these dates by this point. It is Saturday and Sunday.
It's this weekend.
Yeah, whatever this weekend is.
If you're listening to the show live, it's this weekend.
Yeah. And if you're not listening to it live, it's March 24th, I think, of 21.
Exactly. If you're not listening live, you're screwed.
Yeah. But Cedar Falls, Iowa, we're having the Psychic and Paranormal Expo. We're going to have just over 30 vendors, and it's a reduced show this year, guys, just to help keep everybody safe and to keep that social distancing in place. So a few less vendors than normal, but got to do our part. But yeah, we're excited. We're going to have presentations both days again, and a lot of awesome, really, really cool people there. And then, not to be outdone, 2 weeks later, we're having our Dubuque Psychic and Paranormal Expo, and that is April 10th and 11th. 8th and 9th. Wait, I
might be thinking of Friday, Saturday. I'm so sorry. Hang on. Yes, that's 10th and 11th. That's my bad. That's my bad.
I was going to say those dates, I think I know. Yeah, the March ones are the ones that keep screwing me up. So Dubuque is April 10th and 11th, and that is at the Grand Harbor Center in Dubuque, obviously. Again, we'll have a little bit bigger there, I think, just because we have space to put more people. So, but yeah, we're kind of back-to-back expos here. And then July, of course, Mr. Sutton will be there. Mr. Class will be there, along with a bunch of other wonderfully awesome people.
And we'll be singing karaoke.
Yes, we will.
If Chris gets drunk enough.
Oh, no. See, you need to start working on this, Chris, now to get him to sing, because the man has a voice.
He does.
But he
you heard Chris. Chris and I were singing at the table at the Sweet Dreams Inn.
Oh, you guys were.
We harmonized. I looked at him. I said, "We need to be singing together, man, because we harmonize so well together."
She has a video of.
Oh yeah.
I believe it's Sticks.
I have that on video. Okay, this singing. Yes, I do. Song.
And you never know when Kelly and I might do the duet of Paradise by the Dashboard Light.
That was fun. So yeah, we have got a whole roster of songs built up already, but you just got to convince us when to sing before he's completely.
I'll start drinking before we get to the bar.
That would be still at the expo, so I don't know if that's the best idea.
That works, it is.
I think that'll work at the expo.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic social lubricant. I'll start talking to people who don't even want to be talked to.
Yeah.
I'll be one of those people at the expo, just like, hey, I got something to... It's something fucking spooky, man.
Yeah.
Please no. Please no. Anywho.
Fantastic show. Are we ready to knock this sign off out of the park?
We've kept them over.
Yeah. Are we ready for the sign off? Here we go. All right, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to the Travelers.
Pause. Do you hear the voice that starts when he starts his sign off? It's crazy. He goes into like tour guide mode. It's the funniest thing. His voice changes, his demeanor changes. He sits differently in his chairs. I wish you guys could see the video of this. Carry on.
Thank you for tuning into the Travelers Moon podcast. As always, I am your host, the Paranomad, Chris Nielsen, and
I am Kelly McCarver, Moonspinner.
Thank you for tuning into the show. If you're listening to us live, be sure to find us on social media anywhere at Travelers Moon. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. If you're listening to us after the fact, be sure to. We still love you. I wouldn't say we love you less, but we still love you, and that's the important part. Be sure to leave us a positive review and catch us on the live shows every other Wednesday. If you don't know where to find us, or what Wednesdays every other Wednesday, find us on that social media I was just talking about. All right, you lovely beaches. You have a great night.